Look in the last two lines of this copy. It's a Gemara in Psachim Daf Kuf Beis Amud Beis. The Gemara talks about what you do when it comes to Matzah Shabbos. Before we look in the copy, just the pasuk says Bayom Hashvi Shavas Vayinofash. Chazal learned from this in the Gemara. What's the shirt Vayinofash? Vay of the Nefesh. Matzah Shabbos, the Neshama cries. Why? Because every Yid has a Neshama Yeseda on Shabbos, and Matzah Shabbos, the Yid loses the Neshama Yeseda. So, good. He loses the Neshama Yeseda.
That's the Vay.
That's Vay. Vay Nefesh. Why?
Vay Nefesh?
Vay Nefesh.
You can't say Vayipach be'apo nishmat chayim. Vayipach.
No.
Vay Nefesh.
Vay of the Nefesh. That's how a person says, why, right? It hurts. Vay of the Nefesh. Okay, the Rishonim say that's why we do B'ayim and Psalm and Matzah Shabbos, because the Neshama is lost, and we learn the Gemara Ezedov Shanashana Nemes Menu is it Eyach. So you want to be Mesameach as a Nefesh, Meyashav as a Nefesh, and that's why that's the reason for the Takonos Chacham to make B'ayim and Psalm, because a person has Neshama Yeseda, he loses Neshama Yeseda, so therefore you bring it back. Look here in the copy, the Machloikis of the Rashbam Toysa. Sorry, it's a bad copy. I couldn't get my Yitzhak Chochma to work, so I just took an old-fashioned copy, and it's very schwach. The last two lines on the left side. The Alma of Achkech Ikadosh Mashein Noisim HaMayroim Simel B'Samel L'Fashem Avarchem Al B'Samel B'Yomtev Sherigam B'Yomtev Yesh Lon Neshama Yeseda K'Shabbos. He says, hey, what do you mean? How come there's no B'Samem on Matzah Shabbos when you're going into Yomtev? When Matzah Shabbos goes into Yom Tov, the Machloikis, and we paskin that's Yak Nahaz, Yain Kiddush Nerev Dalosman. Wait a minute, Fekter Rashbam. What's with Besamim? He says, no, we don't need Besamim. Why? Because we still have the Neshama Yeseda. Yom Tov also has a Neshama Yeseda.
What's the Yom Tov make an Abdullah also?
Good question.
On Yom Tov, there's a Nefesh Yetera, not a Neshama Yetera.
He says Neshama.
That's in the result.
Okay. But here he says, Sherigam b'Yom Tov yesh lon Neshama Yeseda k'b'Shabbos.
Neshama and Nefesh is not the same.
You have a good point, but
Neshama
I want
to. That's also enough.
Right. Okay.
Neshama,
But no, yeah.
No, but Neshama and Nefesh is not the same thing. It's one higher than the other. So Shabbos is higher than.
Just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a very good point. Look at the Tosfos. Tosfos, you see where underline Rav Amayak Nahaz. Why don't you mention B'Samim when you go Matzah Shabbos into Yom Tov? You do Yak Nahaz, Yain Kiddush Nerev Dalosman, but there is no B'Samim. Pirush Rashbam, the Tam B'Samim Mishum Ibud Neshama Yeseda, uVeYom Tov Nami Ika Neshama Yeseda. The Kosher says I disagree. Dim came b'Matzah Yom Tov Afilo Lo Tiknu B'Samim, Elamai Lo Tiknu B'Samim. So why don't you make B'Ayim B'Samim Matzah Yom Tov? It's not true, Zaktoisvus. There is no Neshama Yeseda in Yom Tov. Toisvus says because the Simchas Yom Tov and the eating and drinking is as good as B'Samim. I heard other reasons that are not true, and we'll talk about the other reasons later. My reason is the main reason and the correct reason. Okay. So there seems to be an odd machloikus, especially if you take into consideration that's mefurish in the Zohar that on Yom Tov a person has an Neshama Yeseda, and how could you? Okay, I could say that not every, but it's in the Zohar. So how could you have an argument to Metzias? Is there a Neshama Yeseda on Yom Tov or not? So they have a machloikus here. Tosfos says no Neshama Yeseda, and the Rashbam says yeah Neshama Yeseda. I don't understand. Do I have a Neshama Yeseda on Yom Tov or don't I have a Neshama Yeseda on Yom Tov? The Zohar says I have a Neshama Yeseda on Yom Tov. How could there be an argument in a Metzias? Okay.
And another thing, Tosfos says a nuchidush. If you eat and drink on Matzah Yom Tov, it's like if you did something. Did you hear this before?
No. That's very funny. Tosfos says that in eating and drinking
this is like if
is going to help the Neshama Yeseda. Can you imagine?
The Neshama is not to do with.
Could you imagine?
Right, it's not Matzah Yom Tov. It's you going into Yom Tov. The real Yom Tov Tekasita. So
Yom Tov Tekasuda.
So he's saying that's
going to help for the Neshama Yeseda.
What?
That's going to help for the Neshama Yeseda. It's like saying a guy was supposed to get onto El Al flight to come for the Rosh Hashanah to the Rebbe. He missed the flight.
So we give him a meal.
And we give him a good pastrami sandwich. He said,
Wait a minute.
you missed the
Because-
flight, we'll give you a pastrami
No,
sandwich.
but you're coming, okay, so Shabbos is going away, but you're coming into Simchas Yantiv. It's not like a regular.
But that's not what
Shabbos.
Toys was saying. Toys is saying, Toys is saying, even the yesh loy mach.
He doesn't need the psamim, come on.
But that's not what Toys is saying. Even the yesh loy macholim chashuvim v'toivim, because he has good food.
Right, that's not that Saturday night.
Give me a
That's
pastrami
not
sandwich.
Yantiv,
Never mind
no.
never mind
Yantiv
Uman.
Dika meal.
But that's what you're talking.
This is a real neshama.
But good, you're saying beautiful.
Yeah.
But Toysva should say what you say. I'd be happy.
Oh, he doesn't.
If Toysva just would say what you would say, it would be good. Toysva says that a Yid loses a Neshama, you say it on Shabbos, but Nish Gefeirlich, give him a pastrami sandwich.
No, he's giving him Simchas Yantiv. You see what he says? He says, Mishum de Simchas Yantiv ve'achila shtiya.
No,
Simchas
how does
Yantiv
Achil...
is not a pastrami sandwich.
Ich verstehe, but what's Achila V'shti is a pastrami sandwich. And Coca-Cola.
Look at the word after it. Mo'il kemo psamim. What says mo'il kemo psamim?
Yom Tov we had
He's doing the same effect.
Simchas Yantiv, the whole thing.
Yeah, make the same effect like the psamim on Motzei
Right,
Shabbos.
because the regular Motzei Shabbos, he doesn't have, it's not Yantiv. So they give him some psamim, okay, big deal. Yeah, you know, this is B'chlam Messiah Meya. You don't need psamim now. You're going into Yantiv. How do you feel when you're going into Yantiv? You feel good. You
feel full.
Kiddush
Okay. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I hear.
Listen, I don't know.
Okay. I want to introduce you to a very, very sweet beer from the Rebbe on this issue. The question I'm asking is my question, and if you don't bother by this question, that's fine. But the Ika question here is, if the Zohar says that every Yid has a Neshama, they say it on Yom Tov, so how could it be a Machloikis? First of all, it's a Machloikis Metzias. So Tosfos says Yom Tov there is no Neshama Yisrael. Is there or there isn't? I don't understand. Okay. So the Rebbe says like this. What's a pshat a person has a Neshama Yisrael? According to the Zohar, it's clear that Neshama Yisrael means Pashat a Neshama. Kedusha, Neshama. But if you look in Nigla, there's 4 sources that Rebbe quotes. 2 Rashis, and then there is a Toysosity and the Rashba. Rashi says, what is a Neshama Yisrael?
Ain't cuts.
Oh, to
Cuts.
When could you eat a chon? Sunday you could eat a chon.
No.
Motzei Shabbos. Most Yiddish houses, I think the chon goes in the... No one, every Motzei Shabbos I try. No customers. No one wants to eat chon in the house. I saw you this. Rashi
Unless they
says...
slept through the meal.
Huh?
Unless they were not the meal.
Still, people will eat pizza, but not
Yeah.
chant.
You get one of your kids to eat Motzei Shabbos chon?
Never.
I can't chill on anything.
Oh yeah?
Put next to it $10, you see all the kids will jump.
Anyway.
I was in Yerushalayim years ago. I never knew that in the middle of the week there's chont. It was Sunday, it was in Geula. And I went into a shop, I saw there was chont. So I said, this is leftover from Shabbos. The guy was so insulted. He said, was ich gemacht frische chont? It's a Sunday morning? Like Motzei Shabbos bestellt sich weg zu machen that chont? He said, yeah. He serves every day chont. I couldn't believe it.
It's easy to make. It's easy to make.
Huh?
It's easy to
Yeah,
make.
I guess.
That's what they all look like.
I think they came out against it, the Rabbanim.
Yeah?
It started up a steer with Thursday in the stand of Yerushalayim. Then started more things. There was something about it.
Yeah, okay. So Rashi says, Roichev leiv, lemenucha lesimcha lias pasuach lervacha veyoichel veyishtev ein nafshe kotzalam. A person has a good appetite on Shabbos. The Rashi is the second source is Rashi and Tainus. Shemachivim daita lachil l'shtia. Third source is Toysa Sidi. Tama hanefesh yiseira memenuchas Shabbos. Number 4 is Rashba. Rashba says that the nefesh yiseira is menucha ve'oinig, that the nefesh meitzah b'Shabbos. So we see from all the Nigla sources that the Neshama Yisrael doesn't mean, it means a state of mind, a good appetite, a menucha. It doesn't, a relaxation, a tranquility. Api Zoyar, Neshama Yisrael means, mamash Neshama Yisrael. Api Nigla, it's, the Rebbe gives a good example, fish. So Api Pnimis HaTorah, fish, the Alter Rebbe brings him in the Siddur, fish.
Gasia.
Yeah, you're supposed to eat fish by Shala Shudas. In the Siddur, the Alter Rebbe brings you eat fish by Shala Shudas. Also wenn Beis Menachem Mendel hat man all fish Shala Shudas.
And egg with zwiebeln.
No, the Alter Rebbe doesn't bring.
That's Shabbos morning.
That's Shabbos morning.
Because of the Mar left.
But the fish are good. And what the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch? Alter Rebbe says that in some places the goyim figure out that the Jews want fish for Shabbos, so they hike the price. So whenever they do that, that it's an obligation for the Chachamim and the Manhigim of the city to make a gzeira that no one is allowed to buy the fish for a few weeks straight, till the goyim get the point that if they're going to raise the prices on the fish, they're going to have zero business. Then you're going to hack the herring.
Before Yontif, he used to go up by the Italians and Brooklyn. Before
the
Yontif, the
Yidden
fish went up. No, the Yidden bought from them. That's who we bought
Oh,
from.
so that's why the Yidden raised the price. Very good.
I don't know about the Yidden. We bought from. I was a kid. We bought. They used to have a separate knife. We used to buy from the guy. You know.
And they used to raise before Yom Tov the price.
Yeah, not Shabbos, but Yontif.
Yeah, okay. So the Alter Rebbe says, and because the Alter Rebbe says, "Ein tam al pi nigla," these are the words of the Alter Rebbe. Pi nigla, ein tam b'derech nigla sheitaknu dafka dogim. So who says a dogim will have something else? Who needs to have dogim? But al pi pnim is a Torah. So here, when you say Neshama Yisera, you have to know where the Zohar talks about the Neshama Yisera. Mamash, he does an extra Neshama. But you talk Rashi, Toisvus Ri, the Rashba. And Neshama said it doesn't mean a spiritual. It means Pasha, a person has a better appetite. He's tranquil. He's menucha. At Motzei Shabbos, he's sad because he lost that menucha. So now the Rebbe says you could say like this. A very nice word says the Rebbe. You could say that the machloikis of Toisvus and the Rashbam, everyone agrees that you have. And it's interesting. The Zohar says even in the Chodesh a person has an Neshama Yisera, and everyone agrees there's no that you don't do besam and matzah Chodesh, right? But so the pshat is very simple. The pshat is what is Yom Tov? Is Yom Tov 50% of Shabbos, or Yom Tov is a different thing altogether? It's apples to apples or apples to oranges. On the one hand, you could say on Shabbos you're also to do 39 malachas. And Yom Tov, you also to do 29 malachas. So the Menucha Shabbos is 100%. The Menucha Shabbos of Yom Tov is 50%. Or you could say it's a totally different thing. Menucha, for example, if you look in the Rambam when he starts the halachas of Shabbos, he says Shvisa b'shvim malachim mitzvah sasei, that you're obligated to rest. But Yom Tov, he doesn't say you're obligated to rest. He says you're not allowed to work.
You're allowed to work.
Yom Tov, you're not allowed to work. You're allowed to.
So that's showing you that you're not relaxed.
That you could say that Yom Tov is a totally different thing. Shabbos is relaxation. Yom Tov also to work. Or you could, so that's the machlokes the Rashbam and Toisvus. The Rashbam says that from when you Shabbos is 100% tranquility. Yom Tov 50%, 80%. So it's not so bad. So you go from hot to cold. So then and that's why also from Yom Tov to Motzei Yom Tov you don't have to do. Because listen to this. When you go from because it's not Neshama. When you're talking Neshama, there's no 50% Neshama. And even then there is, but we'll talk about that in a second. But if you're talking about the restfulness, so you could say 100% tranquility, 50%, 0%. So when I go from Shabbos to Sunday, it's wow. It's from 100% to 0. It's a shock. You need to have Pesamim. But if you can go from Shabbos to Yom Tov, you go from 100% to 50%. When you go from Yom Tov to Motzei Yom Tov, you go from 50% to 0%. Whenever you go that increment, that small, you don't need Pesamim. It's not such a shock. When you go to Shabbos to Sunday, it's like, wow, it's so beautiful. Shabbos so beautiful. It's from 50 to 0. It's not so bad.
So
Shabbos to Yom Tov is 100 to 50.
50 to 0.
You're right. Shabbos to Yom Tov is 100 to 50. Yom Tov to Motzei Yom Tov is 50. You don't need Besamim. But when you go from Shabbos to Yom Chol, wow, it's from 100-degree warmth to freezing, 0 degrees. This week, middle of the week when it was 0.
From 0 from Sunday to...
It was a Shrek.
It
was a Shrek.
It is a Shrek.
It was a Shrek.
It is a Shrek.
So every Motzei Shabbos...
Some people have to go to work on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. So that's for the...
I did it
So no.
at a certain time.
Yeah, so what's that? So the Motzei Shabbos, the Neshama starts to... So that's why from Shabbos. So that's the shot of the Rashbam. But Tosfos disagrees. Tosfos says Shabbos and Yom Tov. It's apples and oranges. You can't compare them. Shabbos is 100% and Yom Tov to Shabbos is 0. Yom Tov does not have the menucha. Only Shabbos has the menucha. So even though even though you're going from Shabbos to Yom Tov, there is a shak. And the only thing that brings a person back to normalcy is the fact that he has a good Suda and the Menucha of Yom Tov and the Simcha of Yom Tov. Not only the Suda, you're right, the Menucha of Yom Tov, the sichos of Yom Tov, the Yom Tov, yeah, true.
It's a different feeling.
Now, let me understand something. For instance, this year, the first night of Pesach is going to be Friday night. So you have a Yom Tov and a Shabbos. If you're in Eretz Yisrael and you hold one day, so right away you go into shock therapy.
150% is nothing.
Right?
You have Shabbos and Yom Tov. You have Shabbos 100, Yom Tov
Now,
50.
one second.
Right.
But now,
You need double 2%.
but in Chutz La'aretz, so you go from 50%, you're at 150%,
The Chutz La'aretz says Neshama Yisrael, and Israel doesn't have nothing.
and then you're going down.
Taka and Eretz Yisrael, they're going to be making Havdalah and they're going to have Besamim, right?
Kosher LePesach.
Kosher LePesach Besamim,
There
right?
is.
Yeah, sure. Taka, they're going to have. Okay.
They should have very strong Basama this year.
Yeah, exactly.
When you say in the Shema Yisrael, are we saying that it's one of the 5 levels of the Shema is revealed more, or you have now 6 levels of the Shema?
I think the pshat is one of the 5 is revealed more.
Revealed more.
And the pshat is that on Shabbos there is the biggest gilui, and on Yom Tov there is less,
Gilui.
and Rosh Chodesh there is less. That's why Aaron just mentioned it. That Harizal says that Shabbos is neshama and Yom Tov is nefesh. So that's the pshat that there is more of a revelation of Shabbos and less on Yom Tov and less on Rosh Chodesh.
Right.
That's api Chassidus, api Kabbalah, api Zoya, api Nigla. It's just that a person is more menuchadik, more simchadik on Shabbos, and the machloikas of Tosfos and Rashbam is that Tosfos says that the apples, the Yom Tov and Shabbos is you can't compare. But Rashbam says no. Yom Tov is 50% of Shabbos, so when you go from Shabbos to Yom Tov, it's nicht gefährlich.
So
Because there's a little bit of a Neshama Yisrael also on Yom Tov.
So if somebody is health conscious and they're Mechala Shabbos, then they're going against their belief.
For sure. What's the shaila? Now, the Mittel Rebbe said the Moira de Kavort. He said that the Gedolei Arofim said Edus that on Shabbos, if you take the pulse of a Yid, the pulse of a Yid on Shabbos is stronger than the middle of the week.
And they don't have no answer.
Hey, da zem Gedolei Chachma Arofim shebelal Shabbos v'yom yeshimne godel bedoifik shebeyad Yisraeli machmas ha'oides oira oine ga'atzmi diyechido. And he says the story of the Gemara Gittin for Rabbi Yochanan Marsov that when he met the Roman general and he told him the good news that he's going to be the Caesar, so all of a sudden his bones expanded. Shmua Toiva to Dashanotzen. So Pashat the Gashmi Yid.
It's you.
Yeah, it's Mama Shabbos says that, like the Gemara says. Chazal say loy doim or ponav shel adam kol yemois Shabbos k'moy shehu b'Shabbos. Shabbos, the face of a Yid has another glow. The face of a Yid has another glow. A Yid's face has a glow on Shabbos.
There was certain tzaddikim, it says in Svarim, that they got taller.
The Baal Shem Tov tell us.
Yeah.
The Shabbos closed by the Baal Shem Tov. It was an inch bigger.
Rather, what he brings from the doctors, I have a friend from England, and he told me what happened was a certain Goyish doctor, he had a person, older person, that had a problem, they couldn't sleep for whatever siba, and they mentioned to them that they sleep Shabbos afternoon. So it was like my house, he explained to them it's Shabbos, and this, so the guy did like a whole statistical thing from then on, and he found that Yidden that have this thing, but Shabbos, they have a relief from it.
They have what?
That
Oh,
there's a
relief.
certain problem with sleeping and this. So once he heard it, he was asking why. How come now you? So he explained them it's Shabbos. So he went and he made he tried to keep a record on it. And he
It's
found
also when
such a
when a
thing.
person has a growth spurt, also he gets tired. because the Parshanta grew. You didn't grow. So they're growing.
So they're sleeping.
Growing kids need to sleep.
Shena b'Shabbos Tanug is not Shena sleeping. Shena from all the Gashmias.
Oh, okay.
So the Rebbe has a beautiful vote. Is say.
I
I
was
go with the
wondering
first lashon.
how the Rebbe on Shabbos, my wife and myself saw him Yechidut on Monday, or Tuesday, I don't know. We couldn't look at his face. Anachat Kama the Kama, if it was Shabbos, probably is double O.
Emes. Mamish that way.
He's sitting here, I couldn't look. I have to pull it down. It's fire. It's
Emes.
unreal.
Well, I said the Chaim to the Rebbe middle on Shabbos.
When you're sitting like this with him,
You can't sit so close, but from far away.
no, we were sitting
Contact
here.
eye
He's
to eye.
sitting here, and me and my wife there.
Ah, you're talking in the Yechidus. Forget it. You can look in the Rebbe
I
eyes.
couldn't. I tried a few
No
times.
way.
I couldn't.
It was like a
It's a fire.
Laser
You
fire.
look at fire.
yeah, you like a Jew.
You sat,
Half an hour was it?
you sit.
The Rebbe gave him cover. Not everybody gave cover too. The Rebbe was machabed. No, when the Rebbe tells you to sit down, it's a cover.
Told me to sit down, and he told the Gabbai, what's his
The
name?
groaner.
Get away.
Tell him, mach the tear. He was opening the door. Next. Mach the tear. So then, 10 minutes, you open again. Mach the tear. Maybe 40 minutes.
Wow.
Baruch Hashem.
Tremendous.
So the Rebbe says like this: that if you look, next week's parsha talks about Shabbos. Starts about the mitzvah of building a mishkan, then about Shabbos, and also Aseres Adibris. What's the difference? In Aseres Adibris talks about the chefts of Shabbos. In next week's parsha talks about the gavre, that the yid. In the Aseres Adibris says Kishesh Yisrael also Hashem Hashem Hazaretz. It's also to do malachim, right? That's why, and Bashenkin here, it says no. Ladas kani Hashem kadishchem. That the yid has more kedusha. Magid Shabbos moisefes kedusha al Yisrael. Shabbos makes that the yid should be more holy. That's why Chazal said that the yid were thinking that they're allowed to. That even though it's also to work in Shabbos, you're allowed to build a mishkan of Shabbos. So the Eibush said, no, you're not allowed to build a mishkan of Shabbos. Why? Because after they heard the Seres Adibras, they only knew that Shabbos is also to do malacha. So, that's regular malacha, but to build a mishkan for the Eibush, to bring the Shechina, for sure we could build a mishkan of Shabbos. The Eibush said, no. Shabbos is not only also to do malacha. Shabbos is moisef kedusha to the Yid. That's the restfulness of Shabbos. Therefore, Zok the Rebbe, a chidush davar. We just said it. The doctor said it in England, right? That if a person will rest on a middle of the week or on Shabbos, you can't compare it. The restfulness that a Yid gets, even if this will take a day vacation, close the shop, close the phone.
You can't sleep middle of the day, only Shabbos.
What does it? No, it's not going to work. Because the teva of a Yid is that he has more. That's not only it's in the day of Shabbos in the Chefetz, it's in the Gavra. A Yid is different. It's a mamish a menucha that goes in. That's why when does the Torah says Kishesh Yisrael Moshe Shram V'Sav Shram V'Sav Zayim Shabbos Vayinofesh and parshos Kisisa. After the whole parsha of Shabbos, the last conclusion is Kishesh V'Yemesh Shabbos Vayinofesh. Now that we understand that Shabbos is not only also b'malacha, Shabbos is also moisef kedusha to Yid. Therefore, the Yid has a menuch in Shabbos, and therefore, Motzei Shabbos, the Yid cries that he lost that menucha.
It said in the Kiddush, V'Kiddashto Mikol Hayamim. His heart.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So not only the day is sanctified, the Yid becomes different. His pulse is different. His rest is different. If you look closely at the Rishonim, some of them say what's special about Shabbos that he has a better appetite to eat. And some of them say, like the Rashba and the Tosfos, that he has a restfulness.
They're both true.
Right, but the difference is, if you're talking about the appetite to eat, Yom Tov and Yom Tov has also an appetite
and
to eat.
More,
Fakir.
Yom Tov
Yom Tov is more mechum. But if you're talking about the restfulness, the Yom Tov is not the same restfulness as Shabbos. Fakir, Yom Tov has the same restfulness.
There is no menucha.
Right.
You have to
So you could say that's the machlokes.
There's no time to take a nap in here.
What is it?
No,
Huh?
you're allowed to make. So surely it's not a
True.
menucha.
True, but it's mutter malachas oichel nefesh.
Okay, but it's still, it's not like a weekday. It's
True. So he's saying, what's the ikir Rashi, for example, keeps on emphasizing that the mile of Shabbos, when he says in the Neshama Yeseda, is that a person has an appetite to eat. So in the chiyuv of special Seudah is Shabbos, and also Yom Tov there's a chiyuv to have a special, maybe even more in Yom Tov. But when it comes to the tranquility that the Rashba and the Tosfos say that there is a restfulness and there is menuchas hanefesh, that is different because Shabbos is also in all kinds of malach and Yom Tov is mutter to have eichel nefesh. So Zok the Rebbe that maybe that's the machlokes between Tosfos and the Rashbam. That Rashbam holds that Shabbos the person has an appetite. So Yom Tov also has an appetite, but Tosfos hold no, like the Tosfos Sri, that the ikar is that the tranquility, and that's Shabbos. Yom Tov there isn't, right? The doifik is on Shabbos, but not on Yom Tov. The special the menucha is only on Shabbos, not on Yom Tov.
But we also see on Yom Tov the Yid is different on Yom Tov. There is some kind of neshama that
right,
Simcha, tremendous.
Right,
Simcha
true,
and everything, but
true.
it's not like Shabbos. There's some different.
But that's what when it comes to Shabbos, Shabbos is al pichsidis. I want to say al pnimis haTorah. There's a higher level of the gila of the neshama, and Yom Tov a lower level, and Rosh Chodesh even a lower level. So Mamela, now we understand what's the machlokes between the Tosfos and the Rashbam.
These are the Amad that in Rosh Chodesh have to make a seudah.
Right, there is such a thing as for the
So
Rosh
there
Chodesh.
is
Right, there is such a thing.
That's what he's saying. It's a lower level.
It's
It's still
a
11.
level.
It's still 11.
We went Erev Rosh Chodesh to Kever Rachel.
Yeah.
From the plane, my son-in-law picked us up. We live in a flat, so it's like 15 minutes from there. So let's go to have a mincha. It's 4:15. We couldn't move. Rosh
Chodesh is always kibbutz tzedikim full.
Unbelievable. I want to move here again. And it says slichot and unbelievable. So touching, you know. I want to go close to the kever. I have 10-15 minutes till it goes closer.
Did you hear Rachel crying?
I talked to her. I read her crying all the time.
The main thing is that she should hear siso.
All the Jews.
Because she's crying on her children.
Want to come
That's right.
till I get it.
So Moshiach will come.
One more
Did you hear
nekuda.
about this 15-year-old boy? There was a 15-year-old boy that had a near-death experience. He almost, 15 minutes. His 15 minutes, his neshama was up. He became frum, became a Baal Tshuva.
When is
In Eretz Yisrael. Happened in December.
Yeah, we found like a start
Totally fried family. And he became a chayzer b'tshuva, 15 years old.
Because of
Because of this, he saw in Shemaim all Giluyim, he saw Mashiach, he saw Gogol, he said the last Melchoma, he said it's coming, it's mamish ot to ot.
Yeah, we have to serve our own
And the Rav Kook, the Rav Rashi,
Yeah.
where's he? In Chacham?
Rechava.
Yeah, said that it's 100% true, he's telling the truth, and we all have to do tshuva.
Or we'll get past.
Heavy stuff, I'm
It's
telling you.
funny because I was just thinking about him, about Rav Kook, because
See?
we're talking about Yom Tov.
Rav Kook is looking at you, he's
He
looking at
came
you.
once and he said to Shia, and my friend says, go to the Shia, you're going to see on him Simchas Yom Tov when you see him.
That's his name, Simcha Cook.
I was
he's looking at
thinking
you
of
with
that 'cause
Simcha.
He said it at Simchas, and now he's
Simcha
telling
the
the story.
Cook.
Simcha like a cook.
my business is a simcha. Happy
Simcha cook, that's right. And you're also getting out from the cook.
One more nekuda.
You be Simcha Tetzeu, that's it. Maybe you say.
All the Rishonim say that the reason why we do B'odei Min B'samim Matzah Shabbos is because we lose the Neshama Yeseda. The Rambam is the only one that says it differently. Lama Mavorchem Al B'samim Matzah Shabbos V'nei Nefesh the Eves Li'itzias HaShabbos. Not for my Neshama, it's for Shabbos. The Rebbe says it goes very well with what we spoke about last week in the Shittas Rambam. The Rambam holds Kiddush and Avdallah as both Min HaTorah, and they're both the same
The
thing.
beginning of Shabbos and the end of Shabbos to the Rambam is one thing.
The Zol Bazach. And it's just like when you come into Shabbos, yeah, it has to be B'simcha. When we go out of Shabbos, Ki B'shimcha has to be B'simcha. B'simcha Teitzayim. Because Dafka, when the Yid will go out of Shabbos with a Simcha, he'll be able to bring the Kedusha of Shabbos into 6 days a week. If you walk out hunchback and sad, how are you going to bring the Kedusha into the rest of the week? A Yid has to go out, has to be Mesameach himself, because the only way to go out to the rest of the days of the week is with simcha. If you look in that Yom Yom, it brings the word of the Rabbeim that the soldiers, when they go into battle, they always go in with a march. Because if you walk into battle like this, yeah, that you're not going to win. It has to go in with lebedekite. So when we have to go into the 6 days of the week, so it has to be with simcha. That's why the Rambam is saying not because we need the mesameach because we lost the Neshama. It's because of Shabbos. Because we're losing Shabbos, and now we have to bring the Kedusha of Shabbos and the rest of the week. Therefore, we're mesameach. Therefore, when you go to Shabbos and Yom Tov itself brings us.
You don't need it from you. Don't need it.
So why don't you say the Chaim way, Bazai? Why don't we should sit make a shahakal on some mashke?
I tell Lechem, it's a good idea. Taka kutakash. Maybe it was more as we have to be moisef to do both.
I mean, how did Besamim be mesameach that you lost Shabbos? What's the tzishbel?
It's like a consolation.
It's a ruchni.
That's a consolation?
It's a ruchni.
No consolation prize. I'm saying it's the booby prize.
No, Shmuel is saying since Shabbos is the Shabbos because after you have the Neshama Yisera, so Besamim is the thing that the Neshama is named from.
Right.
Also, I would think about the physical food that we eat. Let's say chicken soup on Shabbos night, right? Try to make the same chicken soup the whole week. It doesn't come out the same time.
Shabbos tavlin shmo. Mamash azoi.
You're starving. You didn't eat all day, Shmuel.
No. Try to take the same vegetable, the same
Friday
chicken.
night, your first meal you're having all week.
No.
And you don't eat chicken soup all week, just once a week.
There's something there. You know what? I make you a challah. Shabbos challah I make you now. Eat it. It's not the same.
True.
How come?
Because it's hot Shabbos.
You know the
The
psalmim.
Rashi says the nefesh of a yid is more pasuach l'ravocha.
ספרדים would make ברכת בסמים, or מיני בסמים, and everybody say, smell it, say,
Neshama
everybody say.
That's why I think the Asfardim will have the minhag to laugh.
Yeah.
They laugh, no? Ha 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 ha.
It's coming from
Saturday night.
No. There is a minhag to laugh.
No, because they think that the person that originally made the bracha was laughing. When he says, it sounds like he's laughing.
No, the laugh is borei pri hagefen. It's not laughing, because they're saying, we're laughing now on the Yom Chol. We had beautiful Shabbat. Now it's Yom Chol. like we don't want you.
I say the opposite pshat. I say maybe the pshat is the opposite. I'm wondering, maybe the pshat is the opposite. That the reason of the minhag of the Sfardim to laugh is because, just like that Rambam is saying, that you have to go into Matzah Shabbos with a march. You got to go with simcha to bring the Kedusha of Shabbos into the 6 days of the week.
Okay.
Maybe it started with this Rambam. He's a Sfardi, so that's why.
I've told about Sfardim. You ever saw that? It's not like was. It's like a whole ceremony.
Yeah?
Half an hour ceremony, Abdullah.
Yeah? Wow.
They were the first Karlbachers.
No, this whole ceremony, Abdullah. It's not like 1, 2, 3. Serious.
We say בזכות רבי מאיר בעל הנר, we give a lot of rabbis, a lot of different psukim.
Yeah, in Havzalah Havdalah?
Yeah.
Let Rabbi Azar make Havdalah one night, please.
He's going to finish Sunday morning.
It's good. It's good.
It'll be an experience.
Yeah.
It has to be with music.
Really? In your house you do it with music?
Yeah.
Serious?
I sing.
Wow. That's not music. You can sing here.
You can sing here too.
It's not Shabbos now. It's not Moshe Shabbos.
That's I'm the price. I don't know.
Will you do it for us once?
Maybe.
Oh, very good.
But you have to make sure everybody's quiet.
Of course everyone's going to be quiet.
Okay, let's go into the Gemara. We're now in the last 5 lines.
A nice Kiddush from the Rebbe.
Yeah, Mordik. So basically, have a machlokes and Rambam or Rishonim. According to all the Rishonim, we're upset about the loss of Aharon Neshama. According to Rambam, it's no. It's just that we have to go with Simcha from Shabbos into the 6 days of the week. And in the other Rishonim, you have a machlokes. When you go for Shabbos into Yom Tov, we don't have Besamim. Why? Is it that in Yom Tov we have an Neshama Yisera, or is it just because of the Sudas Yom Tov that comforts us? And basically the hezbollah is the shaila is the restfulness of Yom Tov is that the same? Is that 50% of Shabbos, or it's 0 compared to Shabbos? And Rashbam holds Yom Tov is 50% of Shabbos, and therefore from Shabbos to Yom Tov is only 50%, and Yom Tov to Chol is only 50%, so we don't need Besamim. But Shabbos to Chol is, wow, from 100 to 0, so you need a Besamim. And Tosfos says no, Yom Tov is also compared 0, the Menuchas HaNefesh compared to Shabbos. Okay, now let's do the 5 lines of the Gemara.
You can add up to the Rambam Why the simcha? Because thank you Hashem, you gave us 7 days, at least one day for these 7 days is Shabbat. So we go to the other days.
Yeah, but the Rebbe's word is that the idea here is that we bring the Kedusha of Shabbat into the other days.
No, I don't think so.
Let's the last 6 lines here. I'm sorry, the last 5
I
lines.
see why some people don't walk in.
That's there, so you had other things.
Harba moedes yesh ba'or, the 2 dots, ein mavorchim v'chulu, 2 dots, bishlam and nei. So the Mishnah says 2 things. The Mishnah says you're not allowed to make a bracha on the Neir and Besamim of a goy. That's one thing the Mishnah says. And then the Mishnah says you're not allowed to make a bracha on Neir and Besamim of a Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara says Bishlam in there, you're not allowed to have in there from a goy, Mishum de la Shabbos, it didn't rest. We'll learn next week in Mitzvah why the Neir has to rest, or whatever. El Besamim,
Rest over Shabbos.
yeah, the Neir has to rest over Shabbos. We'll learn about it next week, why and what that means.
Excuse me, that's a guy.
And a goy does his candle, doesn't rest over Shabbos. So therefore I can't use the candle of a goy.
People making them tell you we have taking dafka from that.
No, dafka in there that rested. As we'll learn about it in the Mitzvah next week and the following week. Elo Besamim, but when it comes to Besamim, my time ago loy, why can't I use the Besamim of a goy? Why? Who cares? It rested. It didn't rest. Omar, Rabbi Yehuda Marav, Hocha, b'mesibas goyim, of the kechavim askina. We're dealing with a mesiba. A mesiba. Rashi says, what does a mesiba mean? Achila l'suda. They're having a suda. Mipnei, shestam, mesibas, oive kechavim l'avodah zarah. Because the stam, mesiba of the goyim is for avodah zarah. So therefore, because we're dealing with a mesiba of goyim, so therefore we can assume that it's for avodah zarah, and you're not allowed to smell this for the stuff that's for avodah zarah. And then all the Rishonim say it's not only $5. Sunday, Monday, not right. Lo yidbak b'yad chamul manacheri. You're not allowed to get avodah zarah.
So anytime.
Anytime. There's a machloikas here in the gears of the Gemara in the Rishonim. Some say like us. Here we're dealing about a mesiba, and some erase these 5 words. They just say Hacha b'stam mesibas oived kechavim l'avodah zarah. That because stam mesibas oived kechavim is avodah zarah. What's the difference in halacha?
Because if he knew, why would he do it? In other words, if he knew it was Mesibas assumption, what would he buy it from?
Right. So if he knows, for sure he's not allowed to.
Yeah.
Over here, what are we talking about? So some right the umdana. So but when? So some Rishonim say the Rabbi Yochanan says I don't care if we're always awesome. From a goy is always awesome. Other Rishonim say no, and look at Rashi's also. The Beis Yosef says in Rashi's Mashma it's only mesibas goyim l'achilu l'suda. But if you go into his house and he's not say achilu l'suda, there's a Motzei Shabbos, you don't have any besamim. So you knock on the neighbor and you say, "Do you have some clothes? Do you have some cinnamon?" And the guy says, "Yeah, okay."
So it's not avodah zarah.
So look, that's not allowed. So shaila is, are you allowed to use it or not? You're allowed to go to your neighbor a goy. So that's a machloikas rishonim. The Beis Yosef Lamaisa Paskins Lakula and the Bach Paskins Lachumra. So, but the Bach also agrees, even the Bach that the Machmer agrees that you can go to a goyish store because he's selling merchandise. He's not. He doesn't care avodah zarah, shmodah zarah. He's buying from craft food. He's buying 25 cases of merchandise, and among them there is
like any other merchandise
right.
you buy from a guy.
Right.
So
But if it's your neighbor, the guy, that Shabbos guy that you clap on his door when the 0 degrees and someone forgot to put on the heat. So that neighbor, the guy, the Shabbos guy, are you allowed to go to that Shabbos guy neighbor, Motzei Shabbos, to get from him cloves or cinnamon to use for Samim for Bainim and Samim? So that's a machloikus. It depends on the girsa. If the Beis Yosef says, if the girsa says, we're dealing here that they were sitting in a mesiba. So if they're not sitting in a mesiba, but parshos, when the guy was sitting in a mesiba, they're dedicating their mesiba to their avodah zarah. But if they're not sitting by a mesiba, and he's bringing from his kitchen a jar from besamim, cloves, cinnamon, mutter. But if you go Dr. Beis Yosef according to the other gears, which takes out the word hacha b'mesibas ovet k'chamaskinon, but just mipnei shestam mesibas ovet k'chavan avodah zara. So we say bestam, everything from a goy is for avodah zara. That's a machlokes arishonim.
But wait, but I thought the gears is just stam mesibas. He's saying there's a gears.
I'm sorry, it's a little different. It's not mipnei shestam, but something like that. That hacha mitam mipnei shemesibas she'ovikechavim stam avodas chavan la'avodah zara. I'm not remembering exactly the other girsa, but it's slightly of a different girsa. That it's clear that every time from a goy, and I don't care if it's in the middle of a suda by the goy, ya masiba nishta masiba.
Okay, that's how it was then, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
As you see, it's a machlaikas.
Apply to Goyim today because they don't even believe in their own religion.
Right, could be right. Could be bizman azed. Right, exactly. To them, it's a joke. But sometimes you have a goyim that are dukim lavodah zara, like they really
In the end,
they're minority. That's true.
I see by Shabbat, I see over there they're selling all these candles with the Yoshke picture on it. It's good smell. They still have this avodah zara.
Right, that's a good question about those
The
things.
Buddhists and the Hindus believe it very much.
Right,
Yeah.
right. They're a minority here in America, but true. If you have a Hindu neighbor, so taka this machlokas would be relevant.
What are they doing exactly with this? What do? They want to make the getchka smell it?
I don't know.
Ketairas.
These Mishagoyim don't ask questions. Do you know Rabbi? Do you know Rabbi
The Jewish people
Rinkov?
make money on it, so let them.
Mendel Rinkov, the son should have a refuah shleim, his wife's son. So
The one that came.
Rivkin, you know Rivkin that
there?
yeah. So
That's Israel. No,
and Eretz Yisrael
Is he okay?
There was a Lubavitch
seems
that's
to a
having
big
Israel.
miracle. Yeah,
He had a miracle.
yeah. So it's a murder thing. So the next brother is a shliach in India.
He was here.
He was here a few times,
yes.
right? So he said that he had a mashgiach. He used to come to Mizman Lazman, a mashgiach, come from Israel. So the guy would come home with a bag of fruits. He said, what is this fruits? So he said, they give it to me in the factory. He says, are you crazy? You're taking fruits from them? He said, what? Well, what do you mean?
Food, vegetable, what could be?
Fruits. He said, take the fruits out of the house. Take the fruits out of the house. And tomorrow, he said, when you go to the thing, ask them where the fruits are coming from. So Takazoi, he said the Mashgiach was like shocked. He asked them the next day where the fruits are coming from. Mazel tov. So he said they told him very poshut. When they come to work every day, there is an avodah zarah. They have a getchka there. And that avodah zarah protects them and gives them a lot of atzloch.
That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, every morning, every worker brings a fruit as a takroivis for the avodah zarah.
This is what, India?
Yeah.
Oh.
But one second. But it's also for them to eat this fruit because they gave it already to the getchka. But what could you do with the fruit?
Give it to a guest.
Otazai, you gotta give it to the Shabbos guy.
To the Yid.
Otazai, they can't eat it. They gave it already, but to leave it there. So that's why we give them. We always give the mashgiach. We give the fruits.
Oh my God.
Mamish avoid zara osar bana fruits.
Who would think of that?
Who would think? Osar ba'achila osar bana.
Who would think of it?
Right.
That shows though how much they really love the getchka. They give him fruits, but they let the
They give
Yehudi.
they give it.
We take our trumas and mice. We don't let an Arab eat it. By us, the trumas and mice and lahav, they goes through the kohen. Yes, the trumas and mice take it into the kohen. Give it sense.
The Kohen,
Kohen cup.
the Kohen gives it to his animals.
Let's do a few more lines. Zog the Gemara, Tani Seife, it says in the next case in the Mishnah that you can't make a baracha on the besamim from avodah zara. Machlal the Reisha, when it says not to make besamim on the besamim of a goy, lam avodah zara askinan. It's two separate cases. One is besamim from a goy, and one is besamim from avodah zara. The Reisha is talking about besamim from a goy, and the Sefer the besamim of avodah zarah. So obviously they're two different things. And for the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan Marsov, matam ka'omar. The Mishnah is explaining the reason. Matam eim avorich malay al ner v'lo besamim shel goyim. Why can't you make a bodim and besamim on the besamim of a goy? Mipnei shestam mesibas goyim l'avodah zarah. The Mishnah is explaining itself. The Mishnah is explaining why can't you make bodim and besamim from a goy? Because stam goyim, when they make a mesiba, they dedicate the mesiba to their avodah zarah. So all the besamim that's on the table become a shtik avodah zarah.
Like the fruit.
And therefore you're not allowed to eat it, and you're not allowed to have hanoah from it. It's aser b'hanoah. So therefore you have to be careful when the goy. So again, what happens? So the machloikas rishonim is it anything from a goy, or only when the goy is sitting by a mesiba? But even those that are machmer agree that you can go to a goyish store and buy besamim from a goyish store.
All the perfume that you buy is made by goy.
Yes, from goy. Yeah, exactly.
And we are allowed to use it. So.
Exactly.
Because they don't make it for the
Right. They don't make it for.